Bodhi Society of India, Dr. Mahendra Singh Ji, respected Treasurer Kiran Lamaji, honored Speaker Dr. Namrata Chattaji, other learned dignitaries, Upashaks and Upashikas. It fills my heart with pride to stand before you today and speak on the extraordinary role of Dr. Ambedkar in the revival of Buddhism in modern India. We all know that Dr. Ambedkar is uh, renowned as Bodhisattva Ambedkar also, as the principal architect of our constitution, a champion of equality and a voice for the voiceless. But what is sometimes overlooked is the spiritual revolution he ignited, one that still continues to shape the lives of millions. On Ambedkar, eminent dramatist George Bernard Shaw, he told, I quote, Ambedkar had spiritual vision capable of seeing present and distant future. Dr. Ambedkar did not merely convert to Buddhism, he imagined, reignited, and rebuilt the Dhamma for the new age, a society plagued with injustice, discrimination, and division. He shows us that true liberation is not just political or economic, but also spiritual. And in the teachings of Lord Buddha, he found a way to unite all three, the to lead people from bondage to freedom, from suffering to dignity, from darkness to the enlightenment. Today, as we honor Baba Saheb 135 birth anniversary, let us go beyond the status and slogans and truly understand what his Buddhism means, not just as a religion, but as a movement, a philosophy, and a guide to a way of life. It is very important to say that we can recall the message of Dhammapada. Asevana chavalanang panditanang cha sevanang pujaye pujaniyantang etamangalamuttamam. The mangal, that is to pay our homage to the right person like Baba Saheb Ambedkar, that brings us to the path of purification also. In 1972, the 10th General Conference of the World Fellowship of Buddhists, Thailand, it was held in Colombo. During the conference, a resolution was unanimously adopted recognizing Onagariko Dharmapalo of the Mahabodhi Society of India, Venerable Kripasharan Mahasthabir of the Bodhi Dharmankur Sabha, and Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar as the three pioneers of the Buddhist revival movement in India. It was through their efforts that Buddhism and Buddhist culture have once again flourished in their birthplace. Let us begin by understanding why Dr. Ambedkar turned to Buddhism in the first place. Born in 1891 into a Mahar family, Dr. Ambedkar faced brutal caste discrimination from his earliest days. He was not allowed to sit inside the classroom. He could not drink water from the same pot as others. He was made to feel less than human, not because of who he was, but because the how society treated him. But instead of being crushed by the oppression, Ambedkar fought back with the most powerful weapon of all, education. He studied law and economics in some of the world's best universities like Columbia, London School of Economics, and returned to India with a fierce determination to change, to mobile the society. He realized the regal reforms and political representation were essential but not enough. The roots of caste were spiritual, embedded in religious beliefs that sanctified inequality. Hindu scriptures, he noted, openly upheld the caste system, and as long as Dalits remained within that fold, their oppression would continue. In 13 October 1935, at Yola, he made it a bold declaration. I quote, "Unfortunately, I was born as a Hindu. It was beyond my power to prevent that. But I solemnly assure you that I will not die a Hindu." This was not just a personal decision, it was a call of millions who had suffered in silence. Ambedkar understood that spiritual liberation was key to social and mental liberation. In his celebrated book, Annihilation of Caste, 1936, the arguments of Baba Saheb Ambedkar is very much notable. I quote, "You must take the stand that Buddha took. You must take the stand which Guru Nanak took. You must not only discard the Shastras, you must deny their authority, as did Buddha and Nanak. You must have courage to tell the Hindus that what is wrong with them is their religion, the religion which has produced in them this notion of the sacredness of caste. You will show that courage." He uttered this question. He began a long and deep search for the religion and preached equality, reason, and compassion. And he found it in the teachings of Lord Buddha. Why Dr. Ambedkar embraced Buddhism? Because Dr. Ambedkar was a man of intellect, not superstition. He did not want a religion filled with blind faiths or rituals. He was looking for a path that was ethical, rational, and humanistic. In Buddhism, he found a religion that is rejected the caste system completely, encouraged people to think for themselves, taught kindness and compassion to all beings, the Metta Bhavna, emphasized ethical living and mental discipline, and focused on ending suffering, not through miracles, but through understanding and practice. For Ambedkar, the Buddha was India's first social reformer, a thinker who challenged inequality and asked people to awaken to truth. He admired how the Buddha stood up against Brahminical dominance and created a community open to people of all backgrounds men, women, rich, poor, and those once considered untouchable. All are open to the Lord Buddha. For Ambedkar, the Buddha was India's first social reformer. I uh, uttered this. More than a religion, Buddhism became for Ambedkar a complete philosophy of life, actually a way of life, how to live in totality. Dr. Ambedkar said, I quote, Buddha's teachings are a revolt against Brahminism. They are scientific, ethical, and practical. Buddhism offered an inclusive identity, a new way to be seen, not as a locust, but as a follower of a great spiritual path. It offered not just personal salvation, but social empowerment. And obviously, the issue of uh, his conversion at Dikhabhumi comes on the morning of October 14, 1956, at Dikhabhumi in Nagpur. Dr. Ambedkar stood before over 5 lakh followers and took refuge in the triple chain, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In a solemn yet electrifying ceremony, he and his followers embraced Buddhism, marking the beginning of a new way, Navayana Buddhist movement. Ambedkar then led his followers in taking 22 vows, a powerful rejection of caste-based Hinduism and an acceptance of a life rooted in equality, morality, and mindfulness. Some of those vows I uttered. I quote, I shall follow the noble eightfold path. I shall believe in equality of all human beings. I shall work for the upliftment of the oppressed, etc. This is not just a religious conversation. It was a peaceful revolution. For the first time, lakhs of people who were treated as untouchables stood as Buddhists, as equals. The choice of Nagpur was symbolic. It was near the place where the Emperor Ashoka, the great Buddhist ruler, once ruled. Just as Ashoka and spread of Dhamma across Asia, Ambedkar was now bringing it back to the India, the legacy of uh, King Ashok. Sadly, just weeks after the conversion, Ambedkar passed away on December 6, 1956. But uh, he had lit a lamp that would never be extinguished. Today, Dikhabhumi is not just a site of memory, it is a site of rebirth. Every year, millions gather there to celebrate their dignity, identity, and spiritual freedom. Now we can say about his masterpiece, The Buddha and His Dharma. This book published after his demise, but many chapters uh, were published uh, in journals. Before his passing, Dr. Ambedkar completed a remarkable book, The Buddha and His Dhamma, published after his demise in 1957. This work remains a cornerstone of Ambedkarite Buddhism. He's thinking about a short and concise idea Buddhism. According to his words, Buddhist Bible. In 1956, some parts of his study book, The Buddha and His Dhamma, were published. He gave a lecture on why do I choose Buddhism in the BBC this year. In his speech, he considered Buddhism to be superior for three principles: A, wisdom, a sensible knowledge against miracles and superstition. Number two, mercy. Love means love for all, and equality. Equity means equal attitude towards all people. By these three principles, it is not God or spirit, but people can make society happy and happier. This was not a traditional religious book written by Ambedkar, and he reinterpreted Buddhist teachings to suit modern needs and sensibilities. We can refer few aspects of his book. He rejects ritualism and supernatural beliefs, stresses the emphasis on Buddha's role as a rational moral teacher, not a god. He presents the Dhamma as a guide to creating just a society. He also criticized traditional ideas of karma and rebirth and justified suffering, and promotes social service and activism as a part of Buddhist practice. Ambedkar saw Buddhism not as an escape from the world, but as a way to change the world. He wrote, I quote, religion must mainly be a matter of principles only. It cannot be a matter of rules. The religion of Buddha is a religion of principles. His emphasis on the morality and the ethical part of the Dhamma. Though this book, Ambedkar gave a voice to a practical, social, engaged Buddhism, one that speaks directly to the needs of modern humanity. Uh, the legacy of Dr. Ambedkar, the Dalit Buddhist movement, and beyond that. Ambedkar's conversion and teachings created a powerful social and spiritual movement that continues to grow even today. Buddhist Bihars, we can see his impact uh, of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Buddhist, Buddhist Bihars and learning centers, community programs based on Dhamma talks, Dhamma values, a strong emphasis on education, women's rights, and human rights, celebrations of Dharmachakra Pravartana Divas every year, growing interest among youth in Buddhist philosophy, meditation, and ethics. Ambedkar's vision of Buddhism, Navoyana, has also reached international platforms. His message of liberation through ethical living is inspiring oppressed communities in other parts of the world. His spiritual revolution has not only helped millions reclaim dignity, It has kept the flame of the Buddha alive and relevant in the 21st century. Why Ambedkar's Buddhism matters today? We can say in today's world where inequality, hatred, and intolerance seem to be on the rising part, Ambedkar's message is more urgent than ever in present circumstances. He showed us the spirituality without social justice is incomplete. And the true religion is not about worship, but about moral ethics. His Buddhism teaches us to think for ourselves, not follow blindly, to treat everyone with respect, regardless of caste, creed, gender, or background, to work for a society where no one is left behind, to live with compassion, courage, and clarity of mind also. This is not just for the Dalits or Buddhists. His message is for the uh, universal, uh, a message for anyone who believes in human dignity. Ambedkar did not want his statues, but he wanted a society based on justice. He did not want blind followers. He want acqua- uh, a few minds that is always sada jagrata, that is awakened mind. Now we can conclude uh, our parts in this regard. Uh, Dr. Mahendra Singh ji, uh, he told us the deep connection between Ambedkar and Mahabodhi Society of India. That is very important for uh, the revival Buddhist movement in India. We can remark the last but not least, it is well-known fact that Onagarik Dhammapalo played a leading role in reviving the cultural heritage of Mahabodhi Mahabihar and in rightfully demanding its restoration to Buddhist stewardship. He was successful in his mission to a significant extent. After the demise of Dharmapalo, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar carried forward the legacy of his mission. Although the Buddhists owned the Buddha Gaya temple case in 1935, the British government at the time and even the post-independence government of India failed to act in favor of the Buddhists. This is an issue we must reflect upon seriously as the honor of legacy of both Dharmapalo and Dr. Ambedkar are deeply tied to the struggle for the Buddha Gaya temple movement. Dr. Ambedkar's contribution to Buddhism is not just historical, it is living, breathing, and growing. He gave us more than a path to follow. He gave us a reason to walk along. We can recall the Bhagavavishan Sutto of Sutto Nipato. In his final message, he said, I quote, educate, agitate, organize. Be self respecting, be united, cultivate morality, be industrious. Unquote. Let us remember the 135th birth anniversary of Baba Saheb Bodhisattva Dr. Ambedkar, not only on his birth or death anniversaries, but every day by living his teachings, his visions. Let us follow the values of Lord Buddha: compassion, equality, non-violence, wisdom. Let us walk in this path, not in fear, but with faith in ourselves, in justice, and in humanity. Today, as we stand at the crossroads of history, let us carry forward the flame that Baba Saheb lit, burning bright with the light of knowledge, dignity, and love.